Let me give you why businesses fail. These are the qualities of founders' businesses, first generation. First generation. So now, that's at one end of the continuum. Over time, here's what happens. The business, because it practices these principles intuitively, the founders may not know, would not know, have codified, but so the founders behave intuitively. Then the founders hand the rein over, or the founder one day, an investment banker comes to the founder and says, look, you have a great business here. Fantastic business. We should take it public. And you could go to Florida and relax. Right? You don't have to deal with the day-to-day necessities of keeping the business going. So the founder is convinced. And the founder says, okay, I'll take my business public. So this is on a Friday. On Monday, let's see what happens to that business. On Monday, it's not public business, right? So the next business day, whereas the first characteristic of wealth-creating business is they're run by the owner-operator is one and the same. The next business day, there's a separation of ownership from management. Shareholders different from management. The next day, right? So wherever the business became successful by this, the next day, this is what happens. Management is separated from shareholders. Am I right? Okay. Then, because to maintain order in the business, a corporate governance structure has to be put in place. So, when you go to corporate governance school, the first lesson they teach you is the best of class in corporate governance is the majority of the board should be independent. Am I right? Now, next on Monday, an independent board is put in. Friday, if you had said to the founder, would you, Ms. Founder, nominate 6 other directors, each of whom has the same number of votes to you, and none of whom has any skin in the game, would you do that? What do you think the founder would have said? No. But what happened on Monday? That's exactly what happened. And we have this behavior institutionalized. This is what they teach at the best universities in corporate governance school. What craziness is that? So that's the first demise of business, right at the top. And by the way, who are these board members on Monday? They are agents. They're not owners. So we now have introduced agency risk. Right? We have introduced agency risk. So unless you have a methodology of minimizing agency risk as family office principles, agency risk is going to kill you. Right? As you're going to see here. So that's the first thing that happens on Monday morning. Second thing that happens on Monday morning, whereby wealth was created by a concentrated ownership of the businesses. Next, on Monday, what happens? The ownership is dispersed, opposite. Thirdly, key shareholders are personified in the company, and vice versa. Ask yourself the question, who owns, I was going to say Telos in Canada, AT&T. Who owns AT&T? Put a face to AT&T. Can you? No. Opposite. Fourthly, wealth is created by having autocratic business and autocratic management. Then on Friday, on Monday, what happens? In a board, what happens in the board? Yea, nay, they count yeas, subtract the nays from the yeas. If it's positive, it goes through. Perfect democracy. Opposite. Fifthly, entrepreneurial management style. That's how the wealth was created. The next day on Monday, we have now agents running the business from top to bottom. Board of directors to management to staff. All agents. What is the first concentric circle of responsibility of an agent? Don't lose your job. So how are they going to behave? In the best interest of the company or in the best interest of preserving job? How? Pardon me? So what's going to happen? They're going to build bureaucracies. So the business is not going to be entrepreneurial. Because it's easier to say no than yes. Am I right? Okay. Low turnover of management, that's how wealth was created. The next day, the average tenure of your CEO in a private business is 25 years. The average tenure of a CEO in a public company is 5 years. High turnover of management. Seventh, symmetrical risk reward. Next, on Monday, when a capital allocation decision is made between the board and the management, if it's a good one, management gets a bonus. If it's a bad one, management gets half the bonus. If it's an ugly one, management gets a golden parachute. So it's tantamount to flip a coin, heads management wins, tails management does not lose. Opposite. Number 8, wealth creating businesses set goals for the long term. The next day on Monday, quarterly, the analysts are driving the behavior of the company. What craziness is this? These are external people. So you have analysts driving the behavior and agents running the business. 8th, 9th, the focus of the board on Friday was growth, growth, growth. Next day, Monday, what's the focus of the board? Risk and compliance, management of risk and compliance. Am I right? And lastly, validation of success. The next day is stock price, not solid business metric, it's stock price. So ladies and gentlemen, if wealth is created by these set of 10 characteristics, how is it possible to do the exact opposite and still create wealth? How is that possible? Pardon me? Not possible.